Margot Madison, Ren Schmidt, is put through the ringer in For All Mankind Season 4, Episode 3, but comes out on the other side with a new job opportunity. Margot isn't the only femme character who is presented with a new opportunity in The Bear Hug. As Miles Dale, Toby Kebbell, starts working for the black market operated by Ilya Breshkov, Dmitry Marinov, in Happy Valley. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Kelly Baldwin, Cynthia Wu, and Aleida Rosales, Coral Pina, find the investor they need for the Mars S.E.E.K.E.R project in the form of Dev Isa, Edi Gathaji. Picking up from the cliffhanger ending of For All Mankind Season 4, Episode 2, The Bear Hug depicts Margot's interrogation at the hands of both warring factions in Moscow's power struggle. The political coup and resulting communications blackout leads cosmonaut Svetlana Zakharova, Marsha Mashkova, to reflect that it's as if Moscow has disappeared. With the deal reached, and President Gorbachev deposed at the end of For All Mankind Season 4, Episode 3. It will be interesting to see how the new Soviet government impacts upon the ongoing asteroid mining mission. The military coup instigated by communist hardliners puts Margot in serious jeopardy in For All Mankind Season 4, Episode 3. The Bear Hug. Originally arrested for inadvertently participating in the protests against the coup. Things go from bad to worse when the authorities discover the phone number of her mysterious Russian contact. Unfortunately for Margot, even when Gorbachev's forces briefly regain control and brutally dispatch Margot's interrogator, things get even worse for the former NASA employee. The phone number belongs to Irina Vasilievna Morozova, Svetlana Efremova, a member of the Second Directorate of the KGB, who approve of the military coup and support the new regime. Eventually tracking down Margot, Irina has her brought to a mystery location, where Margot believes she will be executed for anti-Soviet activities. In reality, she's been brought to Star City by Irina, who has been made the new director of Roscosmos and wants to offer Margot a job. It was clear from the For All Mankind Season 4 premiere that Margot had fallen out of favor with the old regime, but she's now welcomed back into the fold. However, the precarious and potentially fatal nature of Soviet politics should give her pause as she accepts her new role at Roscosmos. Aleida and Kelly begin pitching their Mars S.E.E.K.E.R project to various corporations, but to no avail. Frustrated by the focus on profits over progress, Kelly and Aleida take one last shot by approaching reclusive former Helios CEO, Dev Isa. Dev explains that being pushed out of his own corporation by Karen Baldwin, Chantel Van Santen, made him bitter and cynical, like his own father. When For All Mankind Season 4, Episode 3 opens, he's living behind a tall fence and only venturing out to his private beach. Meeting Kelly and Aleida reminds him of what he first set out to do, and so he eventually agrees to partner with them, with a twist. Rather than invest his own money, Dev decides to take back control of Helios, by approaching sympathetic shareholders. As Kelly inherited her shares from Karen after her death in For All Mankind Season 3's finale, they're already in a strong bargaining position. After getting the required signatures, Dev strides into a company meeting and immediately fires his former enemies. With Helios seemingly now focused on scientific pursuits, it will be interesting to see if the change of management will improve the conditions for workers stationed on Mars. Or if they don't factor into Dev's big vision. Interestingly, both Kelly and Aleida appear slightly conflicted by the chain of events they've set in motion for the rest of FAM Season 4. Miles is struggling to make his job on Mars profitable, and eventually convinces Ilya to give him a job in his black market operation. As Miles has a green pass, he can access areas of Happy Valley that Ilya cannot, opening up his business as a result. However, Miles quickly jeopardizes his role when he accidentally breaks the still that makes Ilya's bootleg Martian vodka. To fix the still and get back into Ilya's good graces, he concocts a risky heist to steal a thermostat from the North Korean sector of Happy Valley, risking a full-blown international incident. The first man on Mars, Lee Young-gil, C.S. Lee, realizes what Miles is up to and offers him a deal he'll turn a blind eye if he introduces him to Ilya. Thinking that Lee just wants home comforts like everyone else, For All Mankind's new character makes the introduction. However, it turns out that Lee doesn't want illicit cigarettes or pornography sent to Mars. Instead, Lee wants his wife to be taken out of North Korea and brought to Mars. It's a huge request, and people trafficking is a huge escalation in Ilya's operation. How this will affect his relationship with Miles, and the stability of his operation on Mars remains to be seen. As she loses contact with the Soviet Union and her father, Svetlana finds comfort in her friendship with Ed. There's an element of a paternal relationship between them both, especially when he introduces her to the impressive garden that he's cultivated at Happy Valley. Svetlana's father was the gardener for former President Leonid Brezhnev, and the smell of the garden brings her closer to the father she's lost contact with. Ed finds the garden comforting too. As he's not returned to Earth in years, it becomes a way for him to still feel connected to his daughter Kelly, and his Karen after her death. Ed reveals that he's been growing marijuana in the garden, courtesy of Wayne Cobb, Lenny Jacobson, who sent him the seeds to help with his aches and pains. It's still not clear exactly what's wrong with Ed Baldwin, but For All Mankind Season 4, Episode 3. The bear hug is the first time he admits to having a problem. As Svetlana and Ed enjoy some of Wayne's marijuana, he reveals the tremor that he's experiencing in his hand. It's clear that Ed knows that his time as an astronaut is limited, but he's no longer suffering alone, now that he's formed a bond with Svetlana.